Ariel Helwani in Calgary, Alberta, Canada for UFC 149 alongside UFC President Dana White. And Dana, it's good to see you again. I must say, I do not remember you being this excited at a pre-fight press conference. What is going on? Are you well fed? Did you have your Wheaties? What's going on?
I'm always well fed. I'm pumped up. I've been waiting for a long time to come to Calgary. Last time we came here for the press conference, it was awesome. It was awesome this time. Anytime I come up here, and I am pumped for the co-main and main event.
Did you feel like you needed to kick things up a notch just to get people's morale up because some people may be down on the card here?
I don't think the morale was down. The stuff that you're seeing online is ticket scalpers. Ticket scalpers in this city are pissed, okay? And what happened is you're in the ticket business. You go out and you buy a bunch of tickets and you charge the fans way more than what they're worth, and you win some, you lose some. You lost some on this one, you know. It is what all the fight fans here in Calgary are pumped for this card. I'm pumped for this card. Why would you not be? The co-main event, Bosch just beat Yushin Okami, one of the best 185-pounders in the world, weathered the storm, came back and beat him, and this is a lottery ticket for him. Going in against your buddy, Hector Lombard. Lombard has knockout power in both hands. This guy's on a 25-fight win streak. People have been terrorizing us to get him into the UFC for a long time. That fight's going to be exciting, and the fight really means something. The 185-pound division has never been more exciting than it is right now. I mean, as soon as this fight's over and you're like, what's next for Anderson Silva? Boom. All these guys burst onto the scene. The 185-pound division has never looked better, and Saturday's going to be fun. The main event, you got, Uriah Faber facing Renan Barão, who's on a 30-fight win streak, comes out of Jose Aldo's camp. This kid's exciting. And Uriah Faber, the guy's had 5 title defenses, finished 21 of 26 opponents, is the only guy to beat the current champion, Cruz. And this fight really means something. The guy that wins this fight gets the interim belt and fights Cruz when he's healthy. Why would I not be excited about this fight?
This is what I'm talking about, though. We've had big cards. I don't remember you running down the credentials of the fighters like this. You seem legitimately pumped. That's all. It's refreshing.
I am legitimately pumped. I mean, some guy asked me today, don't you feel like, this card is in the shadow of, every card's in the shadow of Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. It's the biggest fight we ever did. It broke every record we ever had, except pay-per-view. Let me throw that in there before that comes up again. But
how many pay-per-views did you get?
It didn't suck. It was good. It's the only time that I'll ever be bummed out about the amount of the amount of pay-per-view buys that we did.
Why won't you say the number, though?
I never say the number.
But for this one, celebrate.
I don't say the number when they're great. I don't say the number when they're bad. I don't say the number when they're in. We never say the number. We just don't do it.
It's a policy.
It's a great number. Okay. I should be screaming from the rooftops, but for me these days, it's more about breaking records. We've been doing this for 11 years. Everything continues to tick up, and I like breaking records now. And I thought we had it. We were that close.
What is the record, by the way?
It's up there.
Now, let me ask you one thing on the injuries. Do you think there will be a sort of a trickling down effect where people will wait to buy tickets? This one sold out in like 20 minutes, and they'll say, I'm going to wait maybe 2 weeks before the event because I want to see who ends up making it to the card.
Understand this. When I came here for the press conference, we hadn't announced the card when we put tickets on sale. Jose Aldo is what we announced, that he'd be defending his title here. That's all I said. And a card built and fell apart, and it happens, and we put together another great card to come here.
Are you surprised that Renan Barão said that if he wins on Saturday night, he is going to wait for Dominick Cruz to come back? But Uriah, the rival, says he's not waiting and he wants to keep fighting. Right. Kind of weird, right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, guys say things before a fight, but after the fight, Jose will be fighting. He'll be training with him on a card. What's the point in me training for 6 weeks if I'm not going to fight and make some money too? So and the other thing is when you're the interim champion, you should be the best. You should be better than everybody else, and you're waiting for this opportunity to fight the guy who has the belt and is hurt. So we'll see what happens.
Other people haven't done that. Interim champion, you have to fight in the interim, right?
Right.
Yeah. Uriah has gotten a lot of title shots. I mean, he lost to Jose Aldo. He lost the rematch to Mike Brown. He lost to Dominick Cruz. He's 0-3 in his last 3 title shots. He's getting a 4th. Is this do or die for him?
Dominick Cruz keeps pointing that out and letting him know that, too.
Is this do or die for him?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. The thing is, in this division, there's no doubt. I mean, you can't talk about this division without talking about Uriah Faber. He's one of the best in the world. But, if Barão goes out and makes a statement on Saturday night, yeah, it'd be tough for Uriah to get back into the mix.
Are you a believer in Hector Lombard when you watch this guy, considering who he's fought outside of the UFC, 25 in a row? Do you still think he's one of the best middleweights?
Well, again, I think that he's got power in both hands. He moves forward. He's an exciting fighter. He's on a 25-fight win streak. Saturday we'll find out what he's made of, because the UFC jitters are real. It happens to you. He's the co-main event. First time, who knows? He could go in there and knock him out and then jump over the thing and knock you out after. Whoa. And, you know, it could be a really big night for him.
He's got a bit of that Mike Tyson aura to him, doesn't he?
He does. And I hear things about him, you know. A lot of other fighters aren't big fans of him. And, you know, he's definitely – but understand this. Well, you guys have to understand. I know you know, you get your feelings hurt sometimes when some of these guys yell at you.
They get their feelings hurt. They're sensitive.
And get nasty with you, you know. But you're dealing with fighters, and not every fighter. You know, we have an entire roster of guys that are really good guys, mild-mannered, you know, easy. But every once in a while, you're going to find those guys that aren't, and they're mean, and they're nasty. And you know, he's definitely one of those guys.
A lot of people thought if he won on Saturday night, he'd be next for Anderson. Chris Weidman saying the UFC wants him to fight Anderson. Anderson's camp doesn't seem all that into either guy. Who is next for Anderson?
It's all bullshit. Everything that you're hearing is absolute bullshit. I am very excited about the 185-pound division. It's all I've been talking about for the last 4 days. I was on the road. I was in Australia on the phone every day talking about the 185-pound division. It's never been more exciting, and I will let the cat out of the bag on Saturday on what we're going to do. Whoever wins on Saturday, I will have answers for you guys Saturday night at the press conference.
You won't get mad at us and say, why are you asking me that whole shtick?
It'll be the first time ever that I say don't ask me that question.
And speaking of the middleweight division, you know, Luke Rockhold doing great things in Strikeforce. I know you sort of touched on it here, but if you can just tell us about this whole list situation. What is going on? If a guy's a free agent in Strikeforce while Zuffa owns Strikeforce, is it true they can't sign with the UFC?
Yes. So this whole Dave Meltzer thing, when I was in Australia, somebody hit me about Meltzer, saying Meltzer said that even if the deal is over at Showtime, that these guys can't sign. I said, that's crazy. That's not true at all. But apparently what Meltzer said was, if a guy's contract comes up while he can't sign with the UFC, that's absolutely true. I've said that a million times.
That means guys like Melendez, Rockhold, they can never go to the UFC as long as Zuffa has a deal with Showtime.
Exactly. And
that's a bummer for them, no?
But that's always been the deal. Everybody's known that.
I don't think it was public information.
Oh, it was definitely public information. Yeah, that's been known. I said, these guys are Strikeforce fighters.
They're depressed about this. You know that, right?
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. You know, just like the guy that got down on his knees and said, "Hey, we're part of the family, and we want the big fight bonuses too." It's a completely different deal. That deal is completely different than the deal with the UFC. Obviously, there's a lot of guys in Strikeforce that were getting paid crazy money. They make really good money over there, and you know, it's completely different than the UFC model. There's money. Strikeforce is its own entity. It runs as its own business. And it's not structured the same as the UFC.
How do you keep their morale up, though? How do you let them know that we're going to take care of you even though there aren't the best competitors over there for them, the most challenges for them?
Keep their morale up. I mean, these guys are the champions, the stars of this organization. Showtime is behind them. Showtime does amazing commercials, really helps promote these guys. They have nothing to be depressed about. It's ridiculous.
Okay. One last thing. I don't know if you know this because you've been traveling, but the California State Athletic Commission going through a lot of issues. Their executive director, George Dodd, just stepped down. They've got a huge,
I did not know that.
They've got debt, all this stuff. Are you going to try to stay away from Cal? I know you're going there in a couple of weeks, but what's your take on California right now? It's a big market for you guys.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I like Dodd, too. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. I had no idea.
Well, we appreciate it. UFC 149, it goes down this Saturday night live from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Renan Barão versus Uriah Faber for the UFC interim bantamweight title. This man is very pumped up for the fight.